because we're here to work. As you can see, I'm here with key members of the NSA from headquarters, and normally that spreads across every other region. You have the same setup. The last time we were here, we did talk about the Yara Sports Stadium being rehabilitated, especially the pitch. Since then, it's deteriorated to the state it is in now. There are a number of factors that's led to that. Mainly, obviously, being to the lack of funds and also the lack of artificial water, which naturally would need for the pitch. If there's no rain, we have to make sure the grass is pampered and treated. So we know there are upcoming assignments, both for clubs and also potentially for the national team. But as of now, Yara does not qualify to host any major international tournament, and we need to work at that very quickly. It's been almost 5 months since the new administration took over. It's been very challenging, but it's important to note that the NSA's mandate is not just about maintaining Stadia. There's so much more that goes into it, and in order to make sure that we have the right thing done for the long term, we do not want to rush into anything that could not be sustained. It's very important that we are sure about what we're doing and then attack it full hog and make sure that we are consistent, and that would remain, as a new standard, so that we don't go back to the days where the pitch will be as bad as it is. I was having a conversation earlier with Madam Victoria Ajaku, and she was reminding me of her role as far back as 2007, 2008, before Ghana hosted the AFCON. And that shows you the kind of work or the kind of experience we have, which we should also be relying on going forward. It's very important that we get all the experts, all hands on deck, and we have them. So we'll be very glad to engage her leadership and the team. They have the expertise to help us rehabilitate the Yara pitch. It will be interesting to note, for the fact that since we took office, we've been to quite a number of facilities, including the Aliyu Mahama Sports Stadium in Tamale and the Kaladan Park, which is not being used for football the way it used to be. We've been to Takwa, the new stadium, home to Midiama. We've had a look there as well. Essipong, obviously, we know there's a problem with the Essipong Sports Stadium in the Western region. The Koforidua Sports Complex. In Koko, there was an issue with the construction of a new stadium, and we've engaged Honorable Brian Achampong, and we just now are waiting for him to bring the documents for him to continue the work. I'm saying all this so that we are very clear, because I think the misinformation and the wrong perception out there needs to be very clear. That's why I'm giving you this background so that you understand. Boteman, we've done a comprehensive tour of Boteman about 2 or 3 times. The Tema Sports Stadium, I'm sure you've seen the images. It's literally abandoned. We've been to a few other venues. The National Hockey Pitch has also now returned to the NSA. The Azuma Nelson Sports Complex, or the Kaneshi Sports Complex, is one that we've also been to. So these are all places and facilities under the NSA. There's a total of 32, was it 39? So apart from Yara, Accra Sports Stadium, Tamale, Cape Coast, there are so many others. So people have to understand that it's not just about Accra Sports Stadium and Yara Sports Stadium. It's much, much deeper than that. Most of you were here when the Honorable Minister was here and did a tour of the facilities and also paid a courtesy call on His Majesty Otumfuo Osei II, and he has assured support. Beyond that, we need the media to set an agenda. The media to set an agenda, because as a media person, I've set a lot of agendas in the past, and I can give you a few of them. Thank you. Positive ones. You know, it's easy for us to look for negative news, to make the headlines, you know, to get all the negative comments. It's very easy. What is difficult as a journalist, and this is what I'm challenging you, is to set the agenda for positive news. Why don't we set an agenda to transform the Yara Sports Stadium? Kumasi has all it takes. It's not about money. I don't think the problem of Ashanti or Kumasi is money. Far from it. We need to make sure that we unite all the factions to come together to make sure we raise Yara back to its glory days. And the jewel in the crown is the pitch. If anybody comes here, goes round, does inspection, the dressing rooms, the other areas, security zones, and the pitch is not looking green and sprightly and fresh, everything else will pale into, you know, insignificance. So it's so important that we set the agenda, and all of you here have a role to play. Criticism is good. We need to be criticized constructively, with you offering alternatives so that we listen and engage you. But criticism without substance or without the facts, that is not constructive. You know, that is why we're here to set the record straight, let you know what's happening and the plans for the Yara Sports Stadium. Obviously, in a while, we'll go down to the pitch because we've already seen the other aspects of the stadium. We'll go down to the pitch, and I'm sure you've seen that it is not in the best of state. I'll also let the head of estates have a word. We're expecting Frank Mwai, but I don't know where he is at the moment. He's just here to update on Accra and other venues. But like I said, we have a lady that is going around. But as I said earlier, we're hoping Mrs. Hannah Victoria Ajaku would give us the needed support. Once we give her the assistance she needs, she'll definitely be able to deliver. So just to give you a background, there are so many venues, so many pitches, so many structures, bungalows, sites that the NSA is supposed to manage. Some of these places, the documentation has to be aligned. In other words, we need to go and check. Currently, there are some people on NSA sites and properties that NSA did not give them that permission. We need to find out how they got there, why they're there, and then with the right documentation, we can take them off and do the necessary work for NSA. So it's very, very important that we give you that background. It's not just about Accra, it's not just about Kumasi. If we make that mistake, we will continue to be in a state of mismanagement and a state of disrepair, because our focus would only be on these two stadia. And even in that case, we really have not been able to manage it over the years. We want that to change. And we want the media to drum that agenda, that we need support, we need resources. All the experts like Madam and you, the media guys, should come on board and support. All the businesses in Kumasi, those who love football, not just Kotoko, but football, should come and support in any way they can. I think it can happen, and we can have back the glory days of football here at the Yara Sports Stadium. Once we're able to put the pitch in good use, we can now look at other areas that CAF will be looking at when they do the inspections and try to bring those aspects as well up to speed, get the green light, and then once again host international matches here. But as it is now, we can't do that, you know. And I don't want to make excuses that we've only been here for 5 months. No, that is not an excuse. Once His Excellency the President has assigned us to do a job, we have to find all ways and means to execute that job. And beyond politics, the reset means that if the pitch is in such a bad state, the pitch needs to be reset. It's very simple. Beyond politics, if our dressing rooms are not up to scratch, we need to do the work for the dressing rooms to be reset. So the reset is basically about making sure that the current state that we don't like, we change it to a new order, which we will all be happy and pleased with. So, with that, I'm very happy to officially welcome the lady sitting next to me, who all of you know very well. She's done remarkably well. I just want to give you a little background so that you understand why it's very historic that Nana Jama Dakwa is being put in this position. I'm sure you know, you may not know, she's got over 2 decades of experience as an estate manager, and from the Ashanti to Bono and then back to Ashanti. You know, she started many years ago. Obviously, she has a master's in facilities management, human resource management, and she's a member of the International Facilities Managers Association. She's a big woman. Yeah. Way back in 2006, when Ghana first qualified for the World Cup in Germany, she was the government rep for the rehabilitation of Yara. So she knows, she knows this facility very well. Venue estate manager for Cannes 2008. That's big. Yeah. Facilitator for land, economy, KNUST, and estate management. Committee member for 2482 10th and 15th anniversary Grand Derbers. Chairperson for the Grievance Resolutions Committee of National Sports Authority Trade Union Congress. And she's coordinated both local and international matches into schools athletics, political rallies, concerts, the list goes on and on. She has a lot of experience, and you know, we're very lucky and privileged to have somebody like this in the NSA. We have others equally as qualified or equally with rich experience, but for the job she's about to do, she's the best qualified. And she's gone through the ranks, she's gone through the mill. You know, one of the beauty about what we do is that when you start from the bottom and you learn and you get to the top, your job becomes seamless. It won't be easy. She needs your support. She's your own sister, she's our sister. We need to give her all the support. And being a woman, I don't want to make too much noise about that, but we also need to respect that she's been able to do it all these years, so why not be the first woman to head the NSA in Ashanti? That deserves a round of applause. And hopefully she'll do a good job so that the other women who are equally doing well, whether in Ashanti or other regions, we can also elevate them to help you know, us do a complete job. So on that note, this is just a summary. You know her beyond all of what I've said, her qualifications. You know, I'd like to officially welcome and introduce her as a new director for the Ashanti region. Please do support. Please support her. I keep making the point that once a media person, always a journalist, and I know sometimes you want news, you want content, but if you're not sure, please give her a call. The PRO is here. Just give us a call. Let's clarify things so that we understand what the challenges are. Nothing to hide, let's be transparent, and let's communicate well. It's very important that we do that. And once we do that, you guys can go out there and then educate your listeners as to what they also can do to support the situation. It's been very difficult, but we're determined to do a lot of work. I'm sure you saw the President's Cup, the quality of the Accra Sports Stadium pitch. Kumasi Yara can be the same or even better if we have the resources to do that. Let me just quickly hand over to the head of...
Collective plan is to bring everybody on board. Like you said, we have a doctor here, we have Mr. Wine, everybody will get on board so that collectively we can bring Baba Yara to where it deserves to be. Because I remember last 2 years, we were hosting games here, and even a crowd was a major thing. So the hope is that we will all get on board and then pull our resources together and bring Baba Yara to where it belongs. Thank you very much.
I'm sure he would also want to just touch on some of the observations he made and some of the things that we need to address. And then we can have a few questions from you.
Yeah, good morning once again. As the DG said earlier on, I was here a couple of weeks ago to go around with the new regional manager or director, sorry, and I had some few observations and I sent my report to him, and that is why we made this. We made it possible to be here this morning. But as a COO, my main duties and mandate is to make sure that all the lost facilities, assets of the NSA will be recovered. So if you can see, you see a new T-shirt as task force. We are not a task force from KMA or AMA. That's an NSA task force, just to recover all our lost assets. And also, sometimes you can see some encroachments. People are using our facilities for free. Vendors, tenants, and all that. And we are here to make sure that that say about NSA, NSA, and all that, we are bringing NSA back to its highest, or whatever that we have to do to make sure that we achieve our goals. That is why we are here for. Thank you very much.
For the last 3 games, Chad and Hearts Kotoko, and also the President's Cup, we had to listen to the advice of the experts. When I sit here, I don't work in isolation. I need to listen to the recommendations and advice of those who know better. And the engineers told us not to risk populating that side of the stand because of the structural integrity. They could not guarantee that, which we've listened to. Since then, we've made our reports to the Minister, Honorable Kofi Adams, and it's been looked at, and I'm sure at the appropriate time, work will be done. The issue obviously is long term. We've been doing short term, back and forth. Long term, what can be done to ensure that not just that portion of the stadium, but the entire stadium is brought up to scratch. And for now, the idea is to have a comprehensive revamp after the qualifiers. However, if anything changes between now and then, it would definitely be communicated to all of us. Emmanuel, Media General, right?
Yes, please.
State of the pitch at the moment. Well, yeah, you can see it's you cannot play even court football on the pitch, and the weather, which is a natural source, has not been too favorable in terms of this side of the country over the past few weeks. And then we have other issues which the new director would address. She's been on the ground, and she's also submitted her report after the visit of the minister. What we want to do is to make sure that we are current as of today with any new development, and then we move on to do the work we're supposed to do. But the reports have been sent, and it will be addressed appropriately. As we speak, preparations are being made to ensure that the pitch and other areas of the Baba Yara Stadium are addressed. Kotoko, Kotoko, they've officially written to the NSA about a week ago. Unofficially, we knew that Kotoko would be playing here, but officially we got the correspondence just over a week ago. there was a communication gap, which I cannot blame on Kotoko, and of course, the transition for the new NSA, the information did not come to the right place at the right time until we notify them that we are waiting for their correspondence. And immediately they responded by sending it through. They had earlier sent it, but they had not reached the National Sports Authority, as I said, due to some communication challenges. So Kotoko should not really be held culpable, and the NSA also did not officially receive that information. So they've written to us, they would wish to use this venue, but like we can all see, we need to make sure that everything is in perfect condition until that can be done. If the pitch can be resuscitated in the next few weeks, it is possible, but I cannot sit here and guarantee that. That is why Doc from KNUST, an expert, and also Frank Wahin, another expert, they are both here. So we don't give you what we think, but we tell you what the facts are from the experts who've been doing this for so many years. That way, we would all go home with the right information. There will not be speculation, maybe, yes, no, the right information from the experts. I cannot do my job without consulting with the people who have the knowledge in that field. Who's for Open Source Radio?
Sorry, one of my questions was in the fan.
We'll update that after today's visit. That's why we brought all the other experts in as well, to make sure that from today, whatever we had in the last few weeks, we make sure we're up to date, and then we work with that. We'll definitely make it known to you, absolutely.